Hey guys, here are 5 back to school tips for autism coming up. Hey guys, my name is Dan. I have Asperger's syndrome, ADHD, OCD and dyslexia. I make weekly videos on this type of content, so if you're new around here and like to learn more, make sure to hit that subscribe button by clicking the notification bell, and if you're watching over on Facebook, make sure to give this page a like and a follow to see daily videos from me. Okay guys, so I've got like 5 tips or hacks or whatever you want to call them for like going back to school or setting into school with people with autism. Sorry I missed the whole rush of getting back to school between like the the end of August, kind of start of September, but without further ado guys, here's the video. This will still help and maybe it can help transition you to the next semester or whatever you're going into. Okay guys, before I get started with my videos, I always like to get the questions that you guys have asked me over on Instagram and answer them live like this now. So if you want a chance of me answering your question just like this, make sure to head over to Instagram, give me a follow, link in the description below, and turn the notifications on so you get notified when I ask you to ask me questions, and you might be featured in a video just like this. Okay, first question here is from Jamie Sun Kenny, and they said, what is the main positive of ASD? I guess the main positive of ASD is the fact that you have like a superpower, a super skill to kind of like home in and get super focused on something that you know a lot about, and then you can become like a master at it and somebody can pay you loads of money to do it. I guess that's a super good positive. Okay, the next question is from Tangerine Hippie, and they said, have you ever gotten fired from a job just because you're autistic? Like, I haven't, right? I don't know if it's stopped me from getting a job because I don't know, the reasons why people don't hire me, but I know a friend of mine definitely has had this issue where they've been fired, and I know it's a big issue in America where you can get fired because they can use any kind of reason to pull on you to get you fired, but it's probably because you are autistic. Luckily it's never happened to me, and I hope it's never happened to any of you guys, but yeah, it's definitely a thing I know about. Okay, so the third question here is from the Frau Room, I think that's what it said. How old are you when you were Asperger's diagnosis? When I got my Asperger's diagnosis, I got my diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome with ADHD and OCD when I was 26 years old, and the reason it took ages because I was a kid in the 90s when they was diagnosing kids, but not in Wales where I lived. It was not something that could have happened. Basically, I was just outside of that area where they could have luckily and successfully diagnosed a kid with an autism spectrum disorder. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go through like 5 things that I feel like are good like hacks and tips and tricks that if you're entering a new classroom or you're starting a new school year or you're starting school for the first time and you're on the spectrum, these things are going to be definitely helpful. I've had these questions a lot. I was hoping to get this video out a week earlier than this, but unfortunately I couldn't get out a week earlier, but that's okay because maybe you're starting school this week and this is going to be helpful to you, or it's some tricks that you can like kind of retrospectively add to your life and your school kind of transitioning. Okay, so the first thing is like finding your location and knowing your way around. So what I like to do is asking the teachers or the school if you can actually check out the classroom before actually sitting that year. So maybe a quiet time or a break time to have a really good look and explore the classroom, get comfortable with your surroundings and know where you are. Especially if it's like a new classroom or a new seating area, you need to get used to it. You can't just be plonked into the middle of it and then just be like, oh, that's it now, we're plonked in here, it's gonna be rosy and everything's gonna be fine. It doesn't work like that. And especially if you're on the spectrum, it's never gonna work like that. So I'd highly advise that you make the school aware of your condition and that you should have access to the classroom before the school kind of starts or before the class starts, or you can go a little bit earlier in the morning or stay after everyone goes home, just so you can check out the classroom properly, have a good look around, like really like position yourself and know where the exits are, where the toilets are, how close are you to the door of the room and all that kind of stuff, where you keep your bag, where your locker is, when the break time bell is and things like that, because these things are important. They're important for people on the spectrum to know where they are and how they're positioned in space, basically. Okay, number 2 is a really good hack. Now, I'm terrible at organizing anything ever, right? So I have like paperwork in school and books and stuff, and I just lose them all and they make no sense, and the paperwork is not in any order, and it just makes no sense to try and go back and review and like get any kind of consistency out of this stuff. When you have like paperwork from your schooling or whatever it is you're doing, get the paperwork and then write the date at the top of it, and then page 1 and then page 2 on the other page and page 3, and just date them. So that like at the end of the week you'll have the date, you'll have a date collection pile, and then you'll have which order they came in, like 1, 2, 3 or 4, which is amazing. So that even if you can't organize these, somebody else can come with you and say, okay, then this is how we organize it. This is from this week, that was from that week, and then this is the whichever days, and this is the order they flow in. So when you're trying to revise for exams, or you wanted to look back for homework, or you're trying to do anything other than just literally, you know, an organized chaotic mess, you can actually look at these and say, okay, this is how it's organized, this is the date. I found it very, very helpful. It was the only way I actually was able to stay organized whilst I was in university and college, actually, when I was there doing a technical college. I mean, not like American college, which is basically university, but I did do that one in university. But anyway, regardless. Okay, so that was like my tip number 2. Right, tip number 3 is the most exciting part about all of this. Right, so I was sent something and I want to talk about tip number 3. So like anything else, I feel like preparing for something and preparation is everything. So bringing fidget, gadgets, or chewable toys with you to school, if you're allowed to, as long as like the school are cool with it, and they should do, because they should have like, you know, a duty of care to make sure that you have like reasonable adjustments. So like fidget items and chewable items are going to help you when you're kind of getting triggered, or you sense a meltdown coming on, or you're getting anxious, or you want to stim, or anything like that. So the lovely people at ChewyGem have sent me this amazing chewable silicone stationery set, which is inside this pencil case. Now the whole thing is chewable. The pencil case is chewable, the tag is chewable, and in here we have a protractor, chewable, we have an eraser, look at this thing, chewable. We also have a calculator, which isn't a real calculator, but it's a chewable calculator. And we have a very big ruler, which is also chewable. So all this fits inside this pencil case, and it's a nice kind of like back to school accessory, and I thought that this would be very fitting for a video of this nature, since we're talking about back to school hacks and chewable toys. So yeah, if you want to get your hands on one of these, link in description below to go through to ChewyGem. It's under chewable sensory toys, the link down below, so definitely check that out, and yeah, get yourself some of these if you really fancy it. So number 4 is something that is kind of like, I suppose, is obvious to people, but some people kind of just forget really obvious things, and it's not always that obvious to people, but to me this is an obvious one. When I went to university and when I went to college, I did this exact thing, and it's buddying up. Find somebody who you can buddy up with, who you can have as a friend, so that friends have always got your back, basically. Now if you are buddying up with somebody and you've just come into like a new classroom or something, then you know, you're, how can I explain it? You're gonna have somebody there who will be able to help you out if you need it. So if someone's really a friend and they're buddying up, they'll be able to help you. So if you need help with locating something, or you need help with schoolwork, or you need help with accessing help, they'll be able to do that, because obviously they're there, you're buddies with them, and they are going to be able to be there as your friend, as a friend in need, or you know, somebody who you can rely on. Buddy systems are great. They work very, very well. I feel like buddy systems are very successful because you get friendship out of it, and that could last a very long time. In terms of my buddy system, it worked really well. I had the same buddy the entire like 3 years I was in university, but I suppose if you wanted to, you could like make multiple friends, and you could have more buddies, and the more friends you can have that help you, the better, really. Okay, so number 5 is one of these like all-time classics, and I think it's something that I always have to reiterate, because it's something that definitely helped me, and something that I'm always forgetting to do. So number 5 is telling a teacher if you're stressed, or if you're anxious, or if you're nervous, or if you've got any worries about absolutely anything. Tell a teacher, tell somebody on authority, tell somebody in charge, ask for help, reach out and ask for help. You could even help get your buddy to help you ask for help if you really have difficulties doing that. And this is perfect, because a problem shared is a problem halved, and this couldn't be more close to the truth. So when you ask, if you've got a problem in school and you ask a teacher to help you out, or you ask a colleague, you know, or anybody like that who's working in the school, they're going to be able to help you out and point you in the right direction. And that way, the worry of like, oh, what if, you'll get the answer you know, because they're just questions at the end of the day that you need answers for. So why not ask that question and ask it to somebody who's going to be able to answer that question and give you that sense of relief and satisfaction, and just awesome. Right guys, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment in the comment section below. I read and respond to every single one. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.